right, well, it's just kind of how it all started. You know, about 3 years ago, I was kind of naive, and I'd collected quite a few three-wheelers, and you know, and I just, little did I know that there were hundreds, if not thousands of y'all that did the same thing, you know, or a variant of that. Maybe you specialize in mini bikes or three-wheelers or you know, CT70s, or, you know, collecting is collecting no matter really what it is. And I come from a family of collectors. Mostly they collect tractors, and so it's similar. You find, you know, tractors from the 40s and the 50s, and you drag them out of the woods, and you get them running again, and then you add to the collection, and you keep some and you save some. It's the same thing with cars or stamps or vintage three-wheelers and four-wheelers. So it is October something or other 2025, and when I started this a couple years ago, I had almost all hardtails, 185s and 200Ss and 200Es and 200Xs. You know, was the only real suspended machine I had, and as the collection grew, some machines came and some went, and I just kind of wanted to take an opportunity to kind of, I got all of them out, I got them cleaned up. Now's a good time to kind of go over them and kind of show you what I've ended up with, where we are. This is the pinnacle of my hoarding, probably. I don't know that it's going to get much better than this. There's a couple of machines that I have on my list, but I don't think it's going to change much from here. But as of today, this is what we have, and this is the condition that they're in. And none of these are mint. None of these are going to go, you know, in a museum anywhere. They're all run and ride for the most part. There's a couple that need some work to do that, but they all do run. So let's go over them and see what we've got. This is our 1989 KD80X Kawasaki two-stroke hand clutch kids mini bike. Just a real nice machine. We've done graphics on this from Bruce over at Blue Line Graphics, and it was only made for 2 years. 88 was green, 89 was white. I'm not going to go over all the details of all these machines. We've seen those videos before, and I am not the expert in that. I can tell you what I know about the machines that I own. And so that's what we're going to do. Up next, we've got an 83 ATC 70. We'll call this a custom. As you see, this one's got electric start. It's got a 3D printed dash and a number plate. We've got aftermarket plastics. This was basically a frame and then a bunch of aftermarket parts added to it. It's got a seat cover. It does have the Piranha 140 engine on it. I bought this machine exactly like you see it. Just a nice rider. It's really fun if you want something small but to, you know, run around the track as a pit bike or something like that. These are a whole lot of fun. Here we have a 1978. That is not the correct tank for it, but it's all original. This one we do have some Serva aftermarket reproduction tires, exactly the way they would have been. The best reproduction tires you're going to find for any of these machines is the Serva brand. This is all original, runs and drives. We do have the original tank for it, and I'm getting it worked on, and hopefully it goes back on here. Otherwise, we'll have to paint that tank and make it work. But we have the original documentation on it, the original bill of sale. I believe it sold brand new in 1978 for $300 and I want to say $14. I have to check that. But anyways, really cool. A lot of paperwork on that machine, original owner. So that's pretty cool. Here we have another 83, I believe. Z50R, just the coolest little kids mini bike you're going to find. This is an auto clutch, unlike the other one. Hey, there's Chloe. Well, that is fitting. Good job, Chloe. Chloe's getting a little long in the tooth, but she's still with us. And she actually made an appearance on the very first video. Didn't you, girl? You did. You did. She likes to hear me talk, I guess. That makes two of us. Alright, well, we'll start at this end since we're here. This is 1985 350X 4-stroke hand clutch sport. This is the biggest sport machine you're going to find in the 4-stroke category for Honda. Just a really, really fun machine. This one came in, it had dropped a valve, and so just kind of grenaded the whole top end on it. So we put a top end on it, did a rebuild, piston rings, the whole 9 yards. And it's a really, really fun rider. I love these back tires. They slide. They are great. They are old. Everything's pretty much vintage on this one. Then they're aftermarket Shane tires. Not the most popular, but they work really well. Of course, we've got a lot of Kendas. Y'all can start counting the Kendas. We'll have a Kenda counter down in the corner, Kenda number 1. This was my very first three-wheeler, 1985 250 SX. It's an auto clutch, just a very, very original machine. As you can tell, it shows all of its battle scars and miles. You can look at the wheels on it. The tires are, of course, not original, but everything else is original on that machine. I haven't put a wrench on it. It's exactly as you see it. So that's pretty cool. Just a really solid survivor original machine. This is probably the nicest 350X I have. This is an 85 350X. This one actually still needs some motor work on this one. It is just a really nice machine. Original plastics, headlight. It does have aftermarket seats, but probably the most valuable part of this is this original tail panel here. Those are highly coveted. We've got an aftermarket 6-pack rack on the back. But just an overall really, really nice metal tank 350X. This is probably my favorite machine to ride right here. If you saw the video I made last year or earlier this year when it snowed in Florida, this is the one I chose that we put out in the snow. This is an 84 250R air-cooled, or air-fooler they call it. Oh, we didn't miss. We do have another Kenda here and another Kenda there. So aftermarket plastics on this original tank, repop seat, just a fun beater of a machine. This one came in just a frame and engine for the most part, and they had welded the sprocket on, and so luckily we were able to fix that, get the motor running, and it's been running ever since. I haven't really done a thing to it. Just a really, really nice machine. We are going to change brands a little bit. This is a Suzuki. As a kid, everybody had one of these, and I wanted one, and I didn't have one, but I have one now. And this is an 88 LT 250R quad racer. If the Honda guys are going to cringe a little bit, but I'll go ahead and say it, the original sport quad, you can't take that from it. Suzuki actually kind of beat everybody to the punch in 1985 when they came out with this. There was not another sport quad really in the market. Honda didn't get into the sport quad scene until 86. But that being said, this is a 1984 Kawasaki KXT 250R Curtie. They couldn't add any more names to it. They run out of letters. Of course, it's also sporting a Kenda front tire. It came that way. Y'all can't blame me for that. They came with that tire. 2-stroke again, hand clutch sports machine. This one has an extended swing arm on it. It came in. It was kind of lipstick on a pig. It ran and drove. Aftermarket plastics all the way around. But it needs the finer details. As you can see, the paint's coming off the frame and so forth. It's a bigger project. I did track down an original headlight. It didn't have one. Just ugly enough that, you know, you gotta love it. I mean, who would put a headlight there? But if you've ever wondered why the headlight is offset, is so you can check your radiator. The radiator is actually here under the number plate. This, as I mentioned before, this is a 1986 TRX 250R Sport Quad. This is when Honda jumped in to the racing four-wheeler track kind of machine. They took the ATC 250R engine out of the three-wheeler and stuck it in here. They did make some changes. It does have a longer rod, so the stroke has changed a little bit, probably to give it a little more torque because it was a little heavier chassis. But this actually came in, was blowed up. The gentleman I got it from, it had no top end, but everything else was there, and it had some white plastics on it. And so I found these actually on Marketplace, citrus orange, and I couldn't see. I think it just made that machine. I didn't know what I was going to do with that orange frame. I didn't want to tear the machine down and go through the process of paint and powder coating the frame and bringing it all back up. So when I found these plastics, I had to get them, and it just made that machine. I think it's perfect, just the way it is. So it's a little loud, and I kind of like that. This is our lowrider. This is another 1985 350X 4-stroke. It's got 10-inch wheels all the way around it. As you see, they stick out quite far. This does have original fenders on it. They are not perfect by any means, but aftermarket seat, original metal tank. We've got these lowered street tires on it with some wheel spacers. It handles great. I love riding this machine, but it needs to be smooth. It needs to be on a track, and it's perfect for that. The Nerf bars just kind of kind of lets you know that it is a track-built inspired machine. This is the latest probably big three-wheeler I picked up. This is an 86. It's the only 86 350X we had. This machine was made for 85 and 86, this being the 86. 86 would have been in white. 86 would have been, it would have had different wheels on the back and on the front. As you see, they have these little slotted ring here. Again, I'm not going to go through all the details or differences in them, but this is an 86. It came in, it's got a transmission issue. We're going to have to change the output shaft on it, but it does run, and so we're halfway there. As you see, it does need some work. This is probably my pride and joy, though it may not look like it. It is probably my most coveted machine. This is the 1986 250R hand clutch 2-stroke. This was the pinnacle of three-wheeling, if it ever was. It was the Honda's biggest, baddest machine. It was the last year they made this. There is no 87 that I've ever seen or heard of. There's been debates. I'm not going to get into that, but this is the 86, the last killer three-wheeler, if you will. This one is special. I found it in the woods. I bought it from a fella. He had pushed it into the woods to kind of just, you know, get it out of sight, I guess. And it sat there for 10 years, and there's a video on it. We did a will it run, and it ran, and I couldn't believe it. And so I've never been in the motor. I've really never touched it other than a carburetor from Curtie at 223 Cycles. Give Curtie a call if you need any carburetor or accessories for carburetors. But this machine is number 26, and it's 26 of all of the 86s. That means this is the 26th three-wheeler to actually come off the line, 250R, in 1986. So that's as close to number one as I'm going to probably ever get. And so because of that reason, because it was so neglected and left in a field in the tree line basically for 10 years, and then it just fired up. And what I'd found out was they had basically stripped out the bolt on the output shaft, so we had to retap the output shaft to hold the sprocket on. And either maybe the dad pulled that off and told the kids, or stripped it out on purpose. I don't know, but I could certainly see sabotaging this machine if you didn't want your kids on it, because it can be a handful. It is a beast. I've ridden it. It does. It's everything that the people say it is. It's a handful. That's the best way to say it. But that's the collection. That's where we are in 2025. I'm not sure. There's two other machines I really want to add to it. Probably some of these will go. You know, that's just kind of how it is. We started with all hardtails, and you know, we sold off some as newer, nicer machines would come in. We'd keep those and sell off the older ones. And this is where we end up 2 or 3 years later. This is what I have amassed. You know, digging in the woods and barns and marketplace and Craigslist and Let Go and all of the places to find all of these. And I think that's why so many people enjoy this hobby, because it's not just having something. It's dreaming about what it could be like, or what it was, or what you remember. Trying to find that particular model, trying to find the nicest one you can get your hands on. Finding one that needs to rebuild or work, and then working on it with your own hands and bringing it back to, you know, a respectable condition, you know, running and riding. Maybe not perfect, but at least running and riding. And then once you do that, you'll learn something, and you'll learn about another model that's comparable, or the polar opposite, you know, and you're like, hey, I want to find out more about that one, and then you go searching for that one. So I hope to have a Tri-Z in this collection one day. There is no Yamaha out here, so that's the one Yamaha that I would be interested in, and then possibly maybe a Banshee. I don't know. We'll see. But those are the last two. After that, I don't know what I'll do. But I keep going back through these and making them a little better each time I bring them out. Y'all seen them in the shop there on the shelf, and I just, you know, a little over time, turn them out or turn them into what you see here. So thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. It's been a journey, and I have enjoyed every bit of it. So y'all take care, and we'll see you in the next one. you.